Chapter 2051, Giant Spectral Soul. 2051 Giant Spectral Soul. Other Gu immortals would feel despair at this moment. This rascal Fang Yuan is too good at turtling up, how can we kill him? Demon Immortal Qi Ju asked with a tone that contained anger and frustration. Spectral Soul also turned silent for a moment before he smiled coldly. Instantly, a terrifying killing intent seemed to condense and solidify, emanating from his body. Everyone could feel their limbs turning cold as they shook in their hearts. After suffering a setback, Spectral Soul's determination to kill Fang Yuan became even firmer. I will dismantle his tortoise shell. Go and deal with the rest, guard me. Spectral Soul said as his soul flew out and devoured Lady Cold Ash's body in one mouthful. A soul giant that was as large as a mountain appeared before everyone. The giant's body was black as ink, it had muscular limbs and bulging muscles. There were two heads, one was scary while the other was cold and aloof. The first pair of eyes had blood-red light in them, shooting towards heaven, the other pair of eyes was cold as ice, emitting a deep chill. It also had 600 pairs of arms that were raised up or lowered, some were tucked in while others were straight. It showed the stance of grasping the sun and moon, it had the potential to catch stars and whip up storms. Amazing giant. Lu Weiyin's body shook as he praised, fighting spirit surged in him as he shouted, then take this move. He used all his strength to activate illusory sand-shifting shadow battlefield. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Intense winds blew as yellow sand flew, countless rocks moved along, they slammed towards the Black Soul Giant's body like shooting stars. The Black Soul Giant only watched coldly as it raised its arms. 200 pairs of arms stretched out and stabbed into the sandstorm. The ghost hands stretched out their fingers as they grabbed towards the sandstorm. Unexpectedly, the formless sandstorm was grabbed onto like silk or threads in the sky. The Black Soul Giant pulled, snapping sounds could be heard continuously. The sandstorm was pulled apart, wind scattered as clear vision returned to the battlefield. Lu Weiyin's eyes were bulging, his expression turned pale. Spectral Soul dealt with the battlefield so easily, he was deeply shocked. Let me. Qi Si Ancestor flew into the sky, staring at the Black Soul Giant at equal heights. Immortal Killer Move, Qi Breath Mountain. Rumble. A huge translucent mountain created from air currents descended and pressed down immediately. This move was once used by Duke Long, it was part of Primordial Origin's true inheritance, it managed to send Purple Mountain True Monarch flying. Right now, with Qi Si Ancestor using it, the power was not to be underestimated. Giant Spectral Soul looked at the mountain but approached it instead. He raised more than 100 pairs of arms. At once, the entire battlefield seemed to have hundreds of black trees, resembling a forest. The 100 pairs of arms blocked the Qi Mountain, emitting a loud sound. The 5 sharp fingers of each of the ghost hands grabbed, the Qi current mountain lasted for a breath of time before breaking apart. Qi Si Ancestor grunted, he was forced to retreat. But Spectral Soul did not let him off, the angry head roared loudly and spat out a grand soul river. The soul river was made of countless ghosts and vengeful spirits, they cried out in agony and despair, causing the entire battlefield to freeze up for a moment. Seeing the power of this move, Qi Si Ancestor understood that this move was extraordinary, its might was many times higher than the self-detonation of the immemorial soul beasts earlier. At this moment, Spectral Soul had used his true strength. Not only did he turn into a Black Soul Giant, he even changed his killer moves, each attack became much stronger, they were all vicious and terrifying. Qi Si Ancestor waved his hands, 2 hands flew out of his wide sleeves. His index and middle fingers stretched out and drew a circle in the air, causing wind and clouds to move along. Immortal Killer Move, Qi Current Scissors. A translucent Qi current flew out of his sleeves, moving rapidly. These Qi currents seemed weak but they were extremely sharp, they drew an arc in the sky before gathering to form a translucent Qi current river. With a loud sound, the Qi Current Scissors River crashed into the vengeful Ghost River. The Qi Current Scissors was forced back but the Soul River also suffered some damage, it still managed to move as it quickly approached Qi Si Ancestor. Lu Weiyin shouted as he activated the battlefield, creating a rock shield that intercepted the Soul River at its weak spot. Qi Si Ancestor's face was already flushing red, it was a tough contest of strength, he quickly used this chance to escape. Spectral soul, why aren't you going to die? At the same time, Qing Cho shouted as it approached from the left. At the right of giant spectral soul, Wu Shuai wordlessly manipulated his army ants that pressed down like a black cloud, attacking giant spectral soul's head. Attacked from the left and right. Spectral soul did not move. 300 pairs of arms resisted Qing Cho while 100 pairs of arms attacked Wu Shuai. Qing Cho was fighting without regard for its life, it advanced relentlessly. Spectral soul snickered as the fingers of his hands gathered into a sharp spear form. This move countered soul beasts. At the next instant, 100 pairs of arms stabbed into Qing Cho's body, green-black blood oozed out and dyed the battlefield. Seeing this blood, a bright light shined on the face of Spectral Soul's angry head. He snickered coldly, "Soul beasts have no blood, but your body seems to have changed under the influence of Hatred Gu's refinement. Interesting. After this battle, I will dissect your body before attempting good and thorough research." In other words, Spectral Soul was completely confident in taking down Qing Cho. Qing Cho growled in pain, its snake-like neck struggled intensely, its roars almost burst the immortal's eardrums. Its entire body emitted black smoke, almost the same as Spectral Soul. Not just that, it opened its mouth and shot out more than 10 human-faced soul balls that were covered in lightning. All sorts of attacks landed on giant Spectral Soul. It was like wind blowing on a tree. Even though the leaves were moving, the trunk remained still and motionless. Spectral Soul's arms that were stabbed into Qing Cho pushed deeper, trying to destroy its body from the inside. Qing Cho cried out continuously. It was heavily injured by Spectral Soul, unable to break free. Its blood flowed like a river. This was a gruesome sight. Seeing this, Wu Shuai, who cultivated enslavement path and had a weak body, did not dare to take a risk. He quickly retreated. He decided that unless there was no choice, he would only attack from afar. The army ants were densely packed and moved like a cloud that could gather and split at will. They rushed towards the black soul giant's eyes, nose, and ears. Spectral Soul's cold head snorted as he breathed out black smoke from his nose. The smoke spread out. Wherever it went, army ants died without resistance. A large number of them fell at once. As expected of a former demon venerable. Demon Immortal Qi Ju's eyes shined with bright light. He was full of praise. Spectral Soul unleashed his true strength. It immediately changed the situation. Even though Lu Wei-yin and the rest had the territorial advantage as well as more people, they still got suppressed by him. Spectral Soul struck several times to completely block them. After that, he went back and stared at peaceful soil heavy mountain fortress. 400 arms stretched out and clenched into fists. They punched at the rank 8 Earth Path Immortal Gu house with black chi covering the fists. Bam bam bam. Each punch caused peaceful soil heavy mountain fortress to shake intensely. As countless fists rained down, black chi also invaded the Immortal Gu house. Soon, the fragments began to fall off peaceful soil heavy mountain fortress surface, shattering into pieces. Fang Yuan quickly used his killer move and added an Earth Path Gu worms to replenish it. But other trouble came at the same time. Inside his sovereign immortal aperture, the myriad tribulation transformed again. Almost all of the heaven path Dao marks gathered into a giant monstrous ball of flesh. The flesh ball floated in the air. It was large as a mountain, more than 10 times of Spectral Soul's size, casting a shadow down onto the ground. Countless black-colored holes appeared on the flesh ball's surface. As the holes expanded, they emitted a huge suction force. Soon, tornadoes began to form from these holes. As the tornadoes moved, countless resources in the sovereign immortal aperture, even variant humans, got swept away and sucked into the flesh ball. At once, growling and crying could be heard as fatalities rose. The flesh ball quickly digested them as it slowly expanded in size. Oh no, I have never seen this myriad tribulation before. It also seems to be able to grow. It can get stronger and stronger. Fang Yuan's heart sank. He needed to deal with Spectral Soul's attacks and the myriad tribulation in his immortal aperture. Either one required his full attention and strength. Nobody else could help him with this. Fang Yuan could not attend to both ends. He had to choose what to give up. Peaceful soil heavy mountain fortress can still last some time, but if I let the myriad tribulation grow further, it will exceed the limit of my capabilities. Realizing the greater problem at hand, Fang Yuan chose to deal with the myriad tribulation. Most of his attention was placed in the sovereign immortal aperture. His manipulation of peaceful soil heavy mountain fortress became slightly slower. Combat Beast King had already awakened. He dragged his injured body and stood up while gritting his teeth, listening to Fang Yuan's orders. Xianxia controlled the situation on the ground, using the ice crystal formation to resist the suction of the tornadoes. The flesh ball monster floated towards her slowly while being firm as a mountain. There was a huge pressure placed on Xianxia. Immortal Killer Move Unrestrained Heavenly Mark was still active. Fang Yuan had not stopped using it even for one moment. But now, its effect had fallen to its lowest point. Countless thoughts collided in Fang Yuan's mind. It was like a turbulent sea. The sight was spectacular. Fang Yuan multitasked. He first activated a Wisdom Path Killer move. The quantity of his thoughts expanded abruptly, even his mind seemed small in comparison. A vast number of thoughts collided, allowing Fang Yuan to think acutely. He was able to use other killer moves now. There was no choice. Fang Yuan activated the Human Path formation to interfere with the Heavenly Dao's interference. As the formation activated, it created a buzzing noise as it shined with a brilliant light. At this step, over half of Fang Yuan's thoughts were already expended. If this continued, the consumption of thoughts would exceed the production. He would soon run out of thoughts and Fang Yuan would turn into an idiot instantly. Fang Yuan gritted his teeth but was not flustered. He was prepared for this. There were many of his wills in the Human Path formation. Fang Yuan's wills took charge of the formation as it operated, allowing his thoughts to accumulate again. Fang Yuan only had to do the first step of activating the formation. Again. Fang Yuan shouted internally as he activated the Wisdom Path Killer move again. The thoughts in his mind burst out again like a tsunami. The quantity rose continuously, almost filling up his entire mind. For Wisdom Path Gu immortals, having too many thoughts was a bad idea. They would take up all the space in the mind and prevent any collisions from happening. It was the worst-case scenario. Fang Yuan did not do something stupid. This was part of his expectations. Seeing that these thoughts were about to fill up his mind, he placed his concentration on the sea of clouds in the sky. It was a huge and wide sea of clouds. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2052, Eat Here. 2052 Eat Here. Looming clouds spread out in the boundless sky, surging like tides as ripples splashed. It seemed like the sea, but it also resembled countless cloud mountains, changing forms at will, having unlimited possibilities. This was a killer move. This killer move was Fang Yuan's trump card. It was in fact his strongest offensive method at this moment. Immortal Killer Move, Unlimited Chi C. This move was mystical. After Fang Yuan's modifications, it not only used rank 8 Immortal Gu Big Qi as the core, it also had more than 10 supplementary Qi Path Immortal Gu, as well as hundreds of thousands of foundational Mortal Gu. There were even Qi Path Immortal materials that could be expended to increase the power of this move. This move was incredible. It could use all of the kinds of Qi in this world: Life Qi, Death Qi, Sword Qi, Blade Qi, Dusk Qi, Dawn Qi. The more Qi Path Immortal materials stored in it, the more powerful this move would be. When used offensively, it would expend Immortal Essence and Immortal materials. When used defensively, it would absorb external Qi currents. This move was powerful and unstoppable. Qi Xiang left this move behind, resulting in Qi Xiang Grotto Heaven surviving many myriad tribulations after his death. Myriad tribulations. Most rank 8 Gu immortals in this world did not even dare to challenge their first myriad tribulation. They desperately delayed the time in their immortal aperture. But Qi Xiang Grotto Heaven's heavenly spirit could use this move to get past myriad tribulations time and time again. After annexing this Grotto Heaven, Fang Yuan used the Light of Wisdom to modify unlimited Qi C before the Fate War. After that, during this battle, he used this move to break the primordial Qi wall and shocked everyone, including Gu immortals, in the 5 regions. The primordial Qi wall was the creation of primordial origin. It not only had Qi Path Immortal Gu but also Qi Path Immortal materials. Qi Path had one trait: it was able to use Qi Path Immortal materials in place of Gu worms to execute killer moves. Fang Yuan used unlimited Qi Si to break the primordial Qi wall. He also absorbed the vast amount of Qi Path immortal materials inside the Qi wall. After the first time, Fang Yuan broke it again for a second time. Not long ago in Heavenly Court, he used unlimited Qi Si to absorb the immortal material Qi currents in the primordial Qi wall, breaking it apart. After absorbing 2 Qi walls and with Fang Yuan's exploration of Qi Si Grotto Heaven, he gained a huge amount of immortal material Qi currents. It caused unlimited Qi Si storage to rise to an unprecedented amount. Thus, the power of this move reached a level that felt terrifying even for Fang Yuan. As Fang Yuan willed, he unleashed the killer move Unlimited Qi Si. The sea of Qi rumbled, a huge white Qi pillar gathered in the sky and shot down at the giant flesh ball monster. The Qi pillar was extremely thick, reaching a level that had never been seen before. Even Qi Xiang would gasp at its majesty now. Not only that, the Qi pillar was covered in a layer of shining golden light. It gave off a tough feeling. It was extremely domineering. Before the white Qi pillar hit the flesh ball monster, a terrifying force acted on it from all directions, immobilizing the flesh ball monster in the air. Boom! The white Qi pillar crashed into the flesh ball monster like a falling monument, before rushing through it violently. The huge sound created even deafened Shui, who was far away from the battlefield. The Qi pillar had an intense white light. Shui, who was hiding in the ice crystal formation, had to shut her eyes to prevent them from being blinded. The flesh ball monster could not resist the power of the Qi pillar. It was suppressed on the grassland of many northern plains. The grass and soil of the grassland had already been sent flying long ago by raging tornadoes before the Qi pillar struck. Thus, the flesh ball monster was pressed down on the barren grassland by the unstoppable Qi pillar. As the earth shook, hundreds of cracks formed below the flesh ball monster, resembling a spider web. The white Qi pillar was still continuing its assault. It had the power to destroy mountains and split seas. The great flesh ball monster made from the myriad tribulation got pressed on the ground like a defenseless chick, unable to struggle. 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet. As the flesh ball monster sank into the ground, its body became smaller and smaller. It continued to be disintegrated by the white Qi pillar bit by bit. The black holes all over the giant monster were shut. It tried to curl up. A pitiful cry could be heard from within its body. This was the cry of heaven's will. The white Qi pillar lasted for 20 breaths of time before fading away. Not only did the sea of clouds in the sky shrink by 80%, the remaining clouds were sparse and thin. Fang Yuan quickly moved them away. But the flesh ball monster was in a worse condition. Its mountain-like body had shrunk to the size of Dragon Palace. The flesh ball monster did not move. It remained in the pit like a corpse. This pit was over 1,000 feet deep. Fang Yuan's main body breathed roughly. His brain was hurting along with each breath. In order to use this move, he exerted his mind to its limit. He used up too many thoughts, beyond the capabilities of his mind. The myriad tribulation created from 3,000 heaven path Dao marks finally paused for the first time. It was as if it got beaten into shock by Fang Yuan. The opportunity was rare. Fang Yuan quickly hastened his action and used unrestrained heavenly mark to refine the heaven path Dao marks. In a short while, Fang Yuan refined more than 100 heaven path Dao marks. Together with his earlier gains, he had already refined over 160 heaven path Dao marks. When Fang Yuan refined over 200 heaven path Dao marks, the heavenly Dao finally reacted. The flesh ball in the hole vanished as it started to hail. However, even though Fang Yuan could take advantage of this chance, he could only sustain this situation as he was forced to place his attention back to the outside world. Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress was heavily damaged beyond repair. Giant Spectral Soul's attacks were increasing in frequency. He had made huge advancements. Spectral Soul swore to kill Fang Yuan. Lu Wei-yin and the rest tried to restrain him, but Giant Spectral Soul ignored their attacks and endured them, while maintaining his firepower on Fang Yuan. Even though Fang Yuan was doing his best to repair his immortal Gu house, the situation was going downhill. Bam! Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress could not take it anymore. A hole was created. It connected to the outside. Through this hole, Giant spectral soul's 4 eyes emitted cold killing intent as he looked at Fang Yuan who was sitting inside. He saw that Fang Yuan's expression was pale after unleashing unlimited Qi. Fang Yuan was in bad shape now. Spectral Soul had a realization. His incredibly deep battle experience made a decision for him. Similar to Fang Yuan, he was going to use his trump card. Immortal Killer Move, Eat Heart. I comprehended this move in my later years from U003CU003 See the Legends of Renzu 003 EU003E. Fang Yuan, it is over. The current peaceful soil heavy mountain fortress has no way of blocking this attack. Spectral Soul surged with killing intent. And like what he said. At the next moment, Fang Yuan grunted, his face became distorted, he grasped his chest in pain. The intense pain in his heart felt like it was bitten by a fierce beast. U003CU003 See the Legends of Renzu 003 EU003E, Chapter 5, Section 33. Renzu stared at the skeleton head. Next, I will eat the most important part of the predicament's body. Strong Gu laughed, this is a stupid move. Oh human, your choice is extremely foolish. The predicament shook its body as it shrank. At the same time, countless tribulations flew out of its neck and attacked Renzu. The tribulations were like fire, burning Renzu's bones. The tribulations were like hammers, charging at Renzu as his bones cracked. The tribulations were like wind and rain, sweeping at Renzu's lone body. The tribulations were like flashing lightning, striking on Renzu continuously. Fear Gu shouted, "Oh heaven, this is too scary, that human will die for sure at this rate." Courage Gu encouraged, "Oh human, don't be afraid." Self Gu and Attitude Gu shouted together, I am very strong, all tribulations are mere drizzles, they are insignificant breezes." Weak Gu, Betrayal Gu, and Fear Gu flew together, wanting to escape with Renzu. "Oh human, quickly run. Don't believe in Self Gu's words, it has already been deceived." Renzu was trapped in the tribulations, he could not escape. When tribulations loom over you, it is not a simple matter of running away. This is too scary, let's go, forget about the human. Weak Gu, Betrayal Gu, and Fear Gu flew away together. You traitors! Self Gu was furious, it grabbed onto these 3 Gu and bit them all. The 3 Gu were injured but they were not stopped by Self Gu, they quickly escaped from Renzu. Self Gu wanted to chase them but rules and regulation Gu urged, don't chase them. Escaping when tribulations strike due to fear and weakness, betraying one's self and courage in the process, it will only lead to death. Isn't it good that they are gone? Weak Gu and Betrayal Gu are unable to help us. As for Fear Gu, if the tribulations did not appear, fear would have been pointless. But since the tribulations are here now, fear will only lead to greater pain in the human. You are absolutely right. Self Gu stopped. Hope Gu flickered with light as it supported Renzu. Oh human, as long as you still have hope in your heart during the tribulations, there will still be hope in this situation. Strong Gu could not stop laughing. Oh human, you are truly pitiful, you easily believe in the words of hope. Don't you know? Having only hope during the tribulations will only cause them to continue longer. Hope is the thing that lengthens the person's pain. When you stop bearing any hope, you will feel relaxed in the tribulations. Renzu did not speak, he endured the attacks of the tribulations with great difficulty. No matter how bent his body became, he did not fall. Strong Gu soon found the reason. On Renzu's feet, there was a pair of independent wings. Even though the wings were small, they flapped stubbornly, helping Renzu to stand up despite everything. Strong Gu continued to demoralize Renzu. Oh human, I am starting to admire you. It is a pity that you are going to fall soon, look at your bones, they are covered in cracks now due to the tribulations. Renzu was silent. Originally, Renzu's bones were shiny and intact, there were no cracks at all. Now, his skeleton was covered in cracks, it seemed like it would shatter at any moment. All the other Gu worms were silent, only Hope Gu gave out light. Oh human, don't give up. Tribulations are not scary, the scariest thing is a person who has lost hope. The light of Hope Gu penetrated the cracks of Renzu's bones, into his bone marrow. In the life of everyone in this world, cracks would always form at some point, but those were the times where the light of hope would shine in. Renzu's bones absorbed the light of hope, they started to engulf the surrounding tribulations. Each crack was like a huge mouth, the larger the crack, the larger the mouth, and the more tribulations it could devour. How could this happen? Strong Gu was extremely shocked. The more tribulations that Renzu's skeleton devoured, the stronger and firmer his bones became. Tribulations could destroy people, but they could also toughen oneself. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2053, Finding a Way Out of a Desperate Situation. 2053 Finding a Way Out of a Desperate Situation. As the tribulations continued, Renzu's bones started to shine in a golden light. The tribulations became wilder as Renzu's bones burned in flames, becoming dazzlingly golden. Renzu started to straighten his back, he raised his head and puffed his chest. After enduring countless tortures, his skeleton shined like a golden pillar, he stood directly inside the tribulations. This was the myriad tribulation golden skeleton. And on Renzu's skeleton head, a crown grew out naturally, it was the heaven-connecting bone crown. All of the tribulations and disasters that people suffer would become their crowns of achievement in the future. Even though the tribulations had not ended, Renzu could already speak at this time. I know, fate has arrangements, tribulations are the arrangements it makes for people. But I can persevere, any tribulations that seem unendurable are all in fact endurable to me. Strong Gu was shocked and bewildered. Self Gu realized at this time, I understand. Oh human, you are someone who walked out of ordinary abyss, that is why you can endure these tribulations that are impossible to endure. Strong Gu saw that the tribulations could not take down Renzu, it forced itself to stay calm. Oh human, don't forget, as long as you have Hope Gu, these tribulations will not stop. Are you going to delay our bet from earlier? I don't care. I will treat it as if you passed the tribulations. Now, it is our turn to eat you. Which part of me do you want to eat? Renzu sighed. Strong Gu laughed loudly, pointing at Renzu's chest. Next, I will eat your hearts. Renzu shook slightly, Strong Gu's choice was too fatal, how could a human live without his heart? Quickly take out all of your hearts, let us eat them. Strong Gu shouted in excitement. Renzu sighed as he hesitated, before taking out the heart of sympathy. Strong Gu directly placed the heart of sympathy into the predicament's neck as the heart fell into its stomach. The predicament's stomach expanded slightly. When faced with predicaments, people often lose their hearts of sympathy first. Renzu took out his heart of nobleness next, the predicament ate it as its stomach expanded some more, it seemed to have problems digesting it. Renzu took out his original heart next. Oh Hope Gu, leave now. I do not want to implicate you. Hope Gu resided in Renzu's original heart, it did not fly out, instead it said, I am not leaving, this is my home. Oh human, just toss me in along with it, I do not blame you. Renzu had no choice, as Strong Gu rushed him, he gave his original heart to the predicament as food. After the predicament ate it, its belly expanded again. Predicaments often caused people to lose hope as well. Without Hope Gu, all of the tribulations around Renzu vanished. This caused the pressure on Renzu to fall, but he felt deep melancholy as well. Quick, oh human, take out your final heart and let us eat it. Strong Gu pointed at the heart of loneliness in Renzu's chest. Renzu hesitated as he felt troubled, the heart of loneliness did not only contain his self Gu, it was also his final heart. Without this heart, Renzu might die. Strong Gu laughed and threatened, quick. If you do not take it out yourself, we will make our move and eat you entirely. Self Gu had already been deceived, it called out in nonchalance, oh human, just give it to them. I do not care, you will not die either. We are the strongest. Give it to me. Strong Gu grabbed the heart of loneliness in Renzu's hand and stuffed it into the predicament's stomach through its exposed neck. At this point, Renzu lost all his hearts. He fell onto the ground, losing all signs of life. He could not stand up anymore. Renzu died. "Oh human, you died, we have regained freedom. Rules and regulation." Gu flew away. There is no helping it, the human met with the greatest predicament in his life. Courage Gu and Edge Gu flew away as well. On Renzu's corpse, only Self Gu remained, it flew around him. Attitude Gu wanted to leave too, but Self Gu grabbed onto it, forcing it to stay. Strong Gu laughed happily, "Ha ha ha, oh human, you were nothing impressive after all." Predicament, what's wrong? The predicament that Strong Gu was attached to grabbed onto its bulging stomach as it rolled on the ground in pain. Loneliness was extremely hard to digest. The stronger the predicament, the lonelier one would feel. Boom! Suddenly, the predicament's belly burst open. Renzu's heart of loneliness, his skin and flesh fused to create a boy. Strong Gu was flabbergasted. "Who are you?" The boy said, "I am Renzu's son, great strength true martial." Before finishing his words, he jumped up and grabbed Strong Gu. Strong Gu tried to struggle while Self Gu used the opportunity to approach and take a bite of it. Strong Gu was injured, it got weakened. "Where are you trying to go?" Great strength true martial shouted. He grabbed Strong Gu and stuffed it into his chest. Strong Gu went into his chest and got imprisoned in his heart, unable to escape. "Don't waste your effort, this is my heart of ambition, you cannot escape." Great strength true martial laughed. Next, he found Renzu's other hearts from the corpse of the predicament and placed them back into his chest. Renzu was revived once again. Undeniably, a person's heart was the source of their vitality, one of the most fatal weaknesses of a human's body. The food path killer move Eat Heart that Spectral Soul created was a greater creation than Bitter Taste and Swallow Loss. Even if these two moves hit his enemies, they could only tilt the balance of victory and defeat. Meanwhile, Eat Heart was a fatal attack. Once hit without ample preparation, it could decide the outcome almost instantly. This was a method that could claim victory. Fong Yuan was hit. Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress had outstanding defense without doubt. But among all the Gu immortal paths, Food Path was extremely well hidden, there were few defensive measures against it. Thus, during the Fate War, Western Desert's Gu immortals were all without options against Heavenly Court's combination killer move, sitting and eating the mountain empty, they were all hit by it. Fong Yuan also had a Food Path inheritance, he also knew that Spectral Soul had a deep attainment in Food Path. Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress was assembled by Fong Yuan, it could defend against Food Path originally. But now, Spectral Soul broke a hole in this Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress. Even the complete Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress would have difficulties blocking the killer move Eat Heart entirely, Fong Yuan would still be affected regardless. At this moment, the intense feeling of death assaulted Fong Yuan. He could not struggle, he had no way to struggle. The heavenly Tao in the sovereign immortal aperture seemed to have noticed this, it stopped conjuring new myriad tribulations as the Tao marks scattered all over the aperture, trying to restrain Fong Yuan's entire body. Fong Yuan could not use any defensive methods, he could only wait for death. Lu Wei-yin saw that the situation was bad, he quickly activated the Earth Path battlefield, yellow sand gathered into dragons that coiled around giant Spectral Soul, squeezing and attempting to immobilize Spectral Soul. Spectral Soul smiled coldly, hundreds of arms blocked them as he defended easily. His four eyes were still staring at Fong Yuan, most of his attention was spent on sustaining Eat Heart. Oh no! Lu Wei-yin's heart sank. Qi Si Ancestor and Wu Shuai also felt chills flowing down their spines, they tried to desperately attack, but Spectral Soul did not even turn around for a moment. Spectral Soul would rather suffer heavy injuries to make use of this opportunity. He wanted Fong Yuan dead no matter what. Is everything going to end like this? Fong Yuan's mind was still quite empty, he did not have many thoughts left. This was the aftermath of using unlimited Qi Si. Spectral soul was just too strong. Worthy of the former demon venerable. The man who was invincible in this world during his era. During that time, he killed until the world became shrouded in darkness, nobody dared to make a sound, all of the living beings in the world could only tremble under his shadow. Only until the appearance of Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable, he spent his entire life to mend the wounds and scars of the hearts of the people. Before Spectral Soul went all out, his battle strength was not much higher compared to the rest, yet he still had a firm control over the situation. After he used his full power, his battle strength rose greatly, he immediately surpassed everyone. The most despairing thing was that each of his decisions carried immediate effect, he did not give his enemy any opportunities to recover, there was no way for them to survive. No, even if there is only a trace of hope, I need to do my best. Fang Yuan could not use any methods, even if he could use a killer move, he could not block the killer move Eat Heart. Unless it was Reverse Flow Protection Seal. The pain on Fang Yuan's face vanished, his lips curled up as he revealed a mysterious smile, it was extremely unusual. At the next moment, he shouted loudly, "If you do not take action now, when will you ever get another chance?" Qi Ju. A pair of Spectral Soul's pupils expanded, while another pair of eyes squinted. Is Fang Yuan trying to deceive me? No, wait. One of his heads turned around, he saw Demon Immortal Qi Ju attacking. Boom! Demon Immortal Qi Ju activated his killer move, the Shi land on top of his head flew down like a comet, crashing into Spectral Soul's back. Spectral Soul was greatly impacted, he also fell to the ground. Puff puff puff. Countless holes appeared on his body, it was like a deflating balloon, dark soul chi spewed out of the holes towards the outside. Not only that, 100 arms of Spectral Soul immediately fell onto the ground like decaying tree branches. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2054, Spectral Soul, you are too poor. 2054 Spectral Soul, you are too poor. Oh! Qi Ju! Spectral Soul screamed, staring at Demon Immortal Qi Ju with deep anger. Demon Immortal Qi Ju retrieved Shi land as he retreated, guarding against Spectral Soul's retaliation. You idiot! Spectral Soul stepped on the ground as a loud sound echoed, he finally stabilized his footing. Even someone like him who had lived for so long became furious this instant, he was about to kill Fang Yuan but his ally actually attacked him. Demon Immortal Qi Ju floated in the air, staring at Spectral Soul with deep vigilance. He first frowned as he recalled Fang Yuan's expression, it was evident that Fang Yuan did that on purpose so Spectral Soul would expose a weakness. Was Fang Yuan really at his wit's end at that time? No, this is more likely Spectral Soul's deception to distract me. The truth is, even if I was deceived, at this point, I can only continue to attack Spectral Soul. Demon Immortal Qi Ju made up his mind very soon. With Eat Heart broken, Spectral Soul suffered a backlash. During this time, Fang Yuan quickly repaired Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress, at the very least, he fixed that hole on it. While recovering, Fang Yuan did not forget to attack using words, Spectral Soul, don't be too angry now, the truth is, before you contacted Qi Ju, I had already reached an agreement with him. You made an agreement? Impossible, I checked secretly, you do not have any alliance agreements on you. Spectral Soul retorted. I have just been revived, I will not trust any information path methods. Oh Spectral Soul, you tempted me with benefits, but Fang Yuan did that even earlier. And, he is much more generous than you. Before Demon Immortal Qi Ju finished his words, he attacked again. A Qi Path Killer move erupted, the attack swept towards Giant Spectral Soul like a storm. Lu Wei Yin and the rest saw this, they felt overjoyed. Wu Shuai and Qi Si Ancestor were unaware of this cooperation, seeing Demon Immortal Qi Ju's betrayal, they became very excited. The situation was tight earlier, but with Demon Immortal Qi Ju's action, the situation was immediately flipped around to their advantage. Lu Wei Yin pondered and quickly realized, after the Fate War, I used Lord Paradise Earth's methods to confirm that Spectral Soul had not only regained freedom but was also getting stronger. Soon after, the secret of the sovereign immortal aperture got exposed in Treasure Yellow Heaven. When I contacted Fong Yuan secretly to inform him, I wanted to cooperate with him to deal with Spectral Soul and Shadow Sect. But initially, Fong Yuan did not fully believe me. But soon after, Fong Yuan contacted me and agreed to this alliance. Now it seems that he had already contacted Demon Immortal Qi Ju and used him to confirm my information. Lu Weiyin was Paradise Earth's inheritor. The Venerable had spent his entire life restoring peace to the world. He was at odds with Spectral Soul. The reason why Lu Weiyin participated in the Fate War was to get rid of Spectral Soul's remnant soul for good. But even after it ended, Lu Weiyin did not find Spectral Soul's remnant soul. Lu Weiyin naturally did not give up. He paid a huge price and used Paradise Earth's method to deduce Spectral Soul's current condition, but he could not find his location. Thus, Lu Weiyin thought of Fong Yuan. If Spectral Soul wanted to regain full strength, he would need to kill Fong Yuan. After killing Fong Yuan, Spectral Soul would regain Sovereign Immortal Fetus Gu as well as his personal dream realms and attainment levels. Lu Weiyin used Paradise Earth's method and contacted Fong Yuan after great difficulty, but the latter was very wary in regards to him. Fong Yuan had been reborn. He knew that Lu Weiyin was not what he seemed like on the surface in supporting Heavenly Court. He had his own personal objectives. Also, because Fong Yuan did not see Spectral Soul during the Fate War when he invaded Heavenly Court, he trusted some parts of Lu Weiyin's information. Soon after, the secret of the sovereign immortal body was exposed in Treasure Yellow Heaven. It made Fong Yuan believe his words even more. After Demon Immortal Qi Ju revived, Fong Yuan tried to contact him in secret but did not succeed once. But coincidentally, Demon Immortal Qi Ju went to approach Qi Si Ancestor for trouble. Using Qin Ding Ling's reinforcement, Fong Yuan managed to force Demon Immortal Qi Ju to retreat, but the truth was, he secretly made a deal with Demon Immortal Qi Ju. In order to gain Demon Immortal Qi Ju's trust, Fong Yuan told him that Qi Si Ancestor was his disguise. Demon Immortal Qi Ju gained this hold on Fong Yuan and immediately understood that Fong Yuan was sincere in this cooperation. Demon Immortal Qi Ju lacked knowledge of the Gu immortal world at that time. Fong Yuan attended to his needs. He used his various true inheritances as the transaction goods. Demon Immortal Qi Ju was greatly moved, but he was still very wary. He did not want to set an alliance agreement with Fong Yuan. He was afraid that Fong Yuan would use unknown information path methods to harm him. Fong Yuan did not force him. They eventually came to a relaxed agreement that could not have any restraining power to either of them. Fong Yuan provided true inheritances of various paths to Demon Immortal Qi Ju, while the latter gave Fong Yuan the secret of his Qi path resurrection. Furthermore, he even followed Fong Yuan's arrangement and sold a huge amount of Qi path immortal materials in Treasure Yellow Heaven to purchase inheritances of all paths. Fong Yuan learned of the secret regarding Qi Ju's revival. He immediately gained a huge breakthrough in resolving the Qi harvest fruit. Thus, Qi Si Ancestor was able to get rid of it. After that, Fong Yuan's clone used Heavenly Court's Qi harvest fruit to create the Qi Si clone successfully. The truth was, with just Fong Yuan's Qi path attainment, he could not resolve the problem of the Qi harvest fruit so quickly. But Demon Immortal Qi Ju was contacted by Spectral Soul in Treasure Yellow Heaven some time after that. Demon Immortal Qi Ju was greatly shocked. After hearing Spectral Soul's words, he understood Fong Yuan's intention. Demon Immortal Qi Ju and Fong Yuan had a lax agreement. They could betray each other easily. Demon Immortal Qi Ju would not consider Fong Yuan's benefits. He immediately negotiated with Spectral Soul in secret. But soon, he realized that Spectral Soul's offer was far inferior to Fong Yuan's. How can a great demon venerable be so stingy? Demon Immortal Qi Ju first held disdain before he pondered, "Oh, I get it. Spectral Soul is the pioneer of Soul Path. He also has a Food Path true inheritance, but he wants to keep them and refuses to transact these two." Even though Shadow Sect had existed for so long, they only found very few venerable true inheritances. But Fong Yuan is the crucial pawn of Heaven's will and the 10 venerables. Many of these venerables invested in him. thus he possesses Red Lotus true inheritance, Thieving Heaven's true inheritance, Giant Sun's true inheritance, Spectral Soul's true inheritance, Reckless Savage's true inheritance, Primordial Origin's true inheritance, Genesis Lotus true inheritance, Paradise Earth's true inheritance, and Limitless true inheritance. Other than these, he also has Langya's true inheritance, the Dragonman race's true inheritance, Food Path true inheritance, Bo Qing's Sword Path true inheritance, and many more. Damn, how can this one guy have so much wealth? After Demon Immortal Qi Ju understood the reason, a complex feeling emerged in his heart uncontrollably. Fang Yuan could be said to be the wealthiest person in terms of true inheritances throughout history. Even though Spectral Soul's shadow sect had searched for such a long period of time, obtaining venerable true inheritances took a lot of time and effort, and they were usually incomplete. Every venerable would make each inheritance with a specific purpose. Even if Spectral Soul destroyed them, he would not gain much. His greatest gain was still that Red Lotus true inheritance, and that was left to him intentionally by Red Lotus Demon Venerable to allow them to cooperate. Regarding Fang Yuan's gains, Demon Immortal Qi Ju felt jealousy, envy, and hatred. Fang Yuan was too rich, even though Spectral Soul was a demon venerable, compared to Fang Yuan in this regard, he was simply too poor. After comprehending this, Demon Immortal Qi Ju gained a deeper understanding of Fang Yuan. No wonder this guy was chosen to be the crucial person to destroy fate. He is making use of me to defend against Spectral Soul while also harming him. He also knows my wants, so even without an agreement, I would not betray him easily. Fang Yuan had abundant wealth. He also knew that Qi Ju would go against Spectral Soul. He naturally acted very generously. Spectral Soul was kept in the dark. He had to deal with the crafty Demon Immortal Qi Ju that showed signs of this betrayal. It was a stark contrast from Fang Yuan. Of course, Demon Immortal Qi Ju would not side with Fang Yuan simply because of this. He took advantage of both sides. On one hand, he told Fang Yuan about the price that Spectral Soul was paying. On the other hand, he requested for more things from Spectral Soul. Demon Immortal Qi Ju had been trying to gain the maximum benefits for himself all along. Up until he attacked Spectral Soul earlier, he had been interacting with both parties. The Sovereign Immortal Aperture situation was not optimistic. The myriad tribulation transformed again, it became a boundless grey wind. Wherever the wind blew, ash and sparks would appear. In the end, it would burn and destroy everything. The grey wind would sweep through, leaving a huge empty land behind. It was the myriad tribulation, spark-blowing grey wind. The heaven path Dao marks turned into wind path and fire path Dao marks, creating this myriad tribulation that Fang Yuan had trouble dealing with immediately. Not only did the grey wind appear in the mini-5 regions, it also affected the mini-9 heavens. A lot of resource points were destroyed. The Sovereign Immortal Aperture had always been developed by Fang Yuan. It reached 20% development, but now, half of that was gone. During this time, Fang Yuan could only try to save the people instead. There were many humans and variant humans living in the Sovereign Immortal Aperture. They were gathered in cities, mountains, or valleys. This was huge wealth. Fang Yuan could give up the rest, but he had to preserve the lives of these people. Cough cough. Inside Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress, Fang Yuan continued to cough out blood. He was heavily injured. This was the result of Spectral Soul's Eat Heart Killer move. The scene earlier was too dangerous. If it lasted for a few more breaths of time, Fang Yuan would have died. Even now, if Spectral Soul uses Eat Heart on Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress again, Fang Yuan would not escape death. Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress could not fully resist the power of Eat Heart. However, Spectral Soul no longer had a chance. Demon Immortal Qi Ju's betrayal changed the entire situation. Earlier, Demon Immortal Qi Ju had Qi Land that countered Qi Si Ancestor. He could shoulder some pressure for Spectral Soul. Now, Demon Immortal Qi Ju became the most troublesome person for Spectral Soul to deal with. Immortal Killer Move, Great Qi Hand Explosion. Qi Si Ancestor activated his killer move. Spectral Soul sensed it, immediately moving 100 arms as black smoke appeared around him. Qi Si Ancestor's face flushed red. He felt like he was squeezing an expanding piece of metal. His killer move was about to break. Immortal Killer Move, Upper-Lower Breathless Qi. At the crucial moment, Demon Immortal Qi Ju attacked with his killer move, directly hitting Spectral Soul. Spectral Soul soon felt his breath going out of sync, his immortal essence flow became choppy, his defensive method that resisted Great Chi Hand Explosion became much weaker. Using this chance, Xianxia exerted more strength into his move. Boom! Great Chi Hand Explosion was successfully used, and at this moment, Demon Immortal Chi Ju used a supplementary method to double the strength of this Great Chi Hand Explosion. Giant Spectral Soul was sent flying from the impact as tens of black arms exploded, he was covered in dust and smoke. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2055, Countering Spectral Soul. 2055 Countering Spectral Soul. Swoosh! Some parts of Giant Spectral Soul's body broke out with countless holes of various sizes, from these holes, black soul chi spewed out rapidly. As the soul chi leaked out, Giant Spectral Soul's huge body started to shrink at an observable speed. Seeing this, Lu Weiyin's eyes shined with bright light. No wonder Spectral Soul used a physical body to fight earlier and did not turn into the giant immediately. This move gives him a temporary power boost, but it cannot be sustained for long, it also has a severe problem in it. Giant Spectral Soul quickly healed his wounds and mended the holes, preventing soul chi from leaking further. As he healed, he attacked in place of defense. Hundreds of arms danced around and slammed at Lu Weiyin and the rest, causing them to scatter and dodge. Spectral Soul was actually even fiercer than before. But Lu Weiyin and the rest were calm, their morale rose as they saw the hope of victory. Create an opportunity for me. Demon Immortal Chi Ju suddenly transmitted to Lu Weiyin and the rest. Lu Weiyin did not hesitate, he immediately activated the battlefield. A sandstorm concealed Demon Immortal Chi Ju's traces. Within the sandstorm, Demon Immortal Chi Ju had a solemn expression, almost all of his concentration was placed in his immortal aperture. A brand new killer move was carefully prepared by him, it was taking shape. Spectral Soul sensed something amiss, he immediately charged into the sandstorm, attempting to disrupt Demon Immortal Chi Ju's mysterious killer move. Xianxia and Wu Shuai desperately tried to stop him, but they could not stall Spectral Soul at all. Qing Chou rammed toward Spectral Soul but was easily dodged. Seeing that Spectral Soul was about to reach Demon Immortal Chi Ju, Lu Weiyin stepped in. He had outstanding defensive methods, even though he lacked offense, he was the one who could stall Spectral Soul for the longest time now. Giant Spectral Soul fought with Lu Weiyin, causing the latter to bleed from his nose and mouth, but he was unable to advance any further due to this obstruction. Getting some crucial time, Demon Immortal Chi Ju took a risk and completed his killer move preparation. Immortal Killer Move, Shi. The Shi land above his head shined with profound light, directed at Spectral Soul. Seeing this, Spectral Soul roared with a trace of panic in his voice. The profound light pillar emitted an intense suction force, forcefully draining the black soul chi from Giant Spectral Soul's body. Giant Spectral Soul's body shrunk rapidly, all of his soul path methods fell drastically in strength. Spectral Soul had a grim expression, he unleashed food path killer moves, bitter taste and swallow loss. Demon Immortal Chi Ju got hit by them, his body shook, he almost failed to sustain the killer move, Spectral Soul nearly escaped. But at the crucial moment, Lu Weiyin strained his mind and pointed at Demon Immortal Chi Ju, shooting out two yellow lights. One yellow light landed on Demon Immortal Chi Ju and spread around the battlefield. Immortal Killer Move, all life is bitter. Instantly, all of the immortals here felt bitterness, even the illusory sand-shifting shadow battlefield was sharing the burden of experiencing the killer move bitter taste. The second yellow light entered Demon Immortal Chi Ju's body. Immortal Killer Move, suffering loss is a blessing. Demon Immortal Chi Ju benefited from this, his body's injuries started to recover, he laughed loudly in satisfaction. Spectral Soul's expression was dark. After Lu Weiyin used both killer moves, his aura diminished to an extreme low, he immediately escaped using the sandstorm. From within the sandstorm, his voice was firm, Spectral Soul, you committed too many sins and caused great harm to the world. Back then, countless Gu immortals fell victim to your two food path killer moves. Thus, Lord Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable created these two moves specially to deal with you. They were his direct counter. Spectral Soul was stuck in a passive spot instantly, his two killer moves were broken. Once a killer move was broken, the user would fall into a passive state, even Spectral Soul was no exception. Simply because he was dealing with another venerable, someone who had opposed him over his entire life. Bitter Taste and Swallow Loss were countered, Spectral Soul wanted to use Eat Heart now. This move was created in his later years, it had almost never been used, there was almost no possibility that Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable had a counter to it. But Spectral Soul could not use it. When he used Eat Heart earlier, many Soul Path Immortal Gu were destroyed, he also expended a huge amount of Food Path Mortal Gu, he had paid a huge price to forcefully activate it. Simply put, he could not use Eat Heart for the following short period of time. Precisely so, Spectral Soul had been holding back Eat Heart, not willing to use it without a good reason. After Spectral Soul escaped, he first ransacked Heavenly Court storage before devouring Soul Pacifying Grotto Heaven, taking its entire foundation. Spectral Soul recovered his strength, he rose up again with great efficiency. However, it was undeniably that his gains in Food Path Immortal Gu were minuscule, he could not truly exert the full strength of his Food Path. Food Path was very rarely passed down, this was both Spectral Soul's advantage and disadvantage. Because there were too few Food Path Gu Immortals, there were also very few Food Path Immortal Gu around. All in all, Spectral Soul had too little time to recover. Ever since this battle to chase Fang Yuan started, Spectral Soul had been using countless Soul Path killer moves that were tough to deal with. But in terms of Food Path, Spectral Soul only had 3 killer moves. Among which, Eat Heart was only used with great difficulty, it was a one-time use trump card. Spectral Soul had countless Soul Path killer moves with terrifying and peculiar effects, they were hard to counter. But in terms of Food Path, there was nothing special, he only had 3 moves, for Lu Wei-yin and the others who had fought him for so long, it was hard to not accustom themselves to these moves. It was like Fang Yuan's Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress, when he used it earlier, it was shocking. But after a while of fighting, with its foundation exposed, Spectral Soul and Qi Ju quickly familiarized themselves with its weaknesses. Trump cards were things that were best left unused as much as possible. Spectral Soul's 2 Food Path killer moves were countered by Lu Wei-yin, he immediately suffered a backlash, his injuries were severe. Killer moves could not be used carelessly, once they were broken, the outcome would be terrible. But this was not Spectral Soul's mistake, in the earlier situation, Soul Path killer moves could not turn the situation around, Food Path was the wisest choice. But Lu Wei-yin was someone with deep schemes, he was just Paradise Earth's inheritor, he was not the Immortal Venerable after all. Thus he kept these 2 moves concealed as trump cards, even though Spectral Soul used the 2 Food Path killer moves earlier, he did not show any hints. At the most crucial moment, he unleashed his counter and achieved the best result. Mingyu, I will kill you, I will kill you. After Spectral Soul suffered heavy injuries, Qing Chou attacked while roaring loudly. It was like a mad beast, its expression was distorted and its eyes were red, bursting open and bleeding with green-black blood. Its body was covered in hundreds of holes, blood spewed out continuously, its injuries were scary to look at. Truly an amazing creation. For a moment, Giant Spectral Soul squinted his eyes. Spectral Soul's attainment in Soul Path was definitely unsurpassed in the world. He created Soul Path, causing soul beasts to exist in the world. Thus, his understanding of soul beasts was extremely thorough, nobody could know more than him. And yet, Qing Chou was different, a qualitative change had occurred within its body. Facing Qing Chou's attack, Giant Spectral Soul became overjoyed instead. Since the fight started, Spectral Soul had gained great benefits from Qing Chou. For others, Qing Chou would be a huge problem, it was quite fatal. But for Spectral Soul, it was like a gentle rain, it came at a good time to allow Spectral Soul to absorb its strength and recover rapidly. Qing Chou charged with extreme speed, it did not care about its own life. The sole enemy in its life was right before it. But as memories surfaced, its vision blurred again. Escape, quickly escape. Can anyone save me? Oh, ancestors of Qin clan, why are you not taking action? Father. Mother. Where are you? Rough winds howled in the desert, while the oasis carried a warm breeze. This was Western Desert Qin clan's blessed land headquarters. It was situated in a beautiful oasis of Western Desert. The sandstones were like mountains, the still lake were like the sea, and the trees were lush and vibrant. However, this utopia that was Qin clan's beautiful home turned into living hell. A terrifying slaughter was ongoing, blood flowed into rivers, countless Gu masters retaliated desperately but were unable to cause any problems for the perpetrator. The young spectral soul, Mingyu from southern borders Gu immortal world, wore a black robe. He stood proudly in the sky. Each time he attacked, he took away thousands of lives. He looked down on the ground. Countless people were running in the face of death. They were like pitiful ants. Qin clan, you are a great Western Desert super force. How long are you going to hide? Mingyu snickered and taunted. It is too disappointing. Are you going to watch your clan get slaughtered like this? He, the so-called Qin clan is nothing amazing after all. Qin clan did not have many Gu immortals left. Right now, they were in the deepest part of their blessed land headquarters. Hearing Mingyu's voice, they felt extremely furious. This demonic path scoundrel is too arrogant and hateful. To think that our second supreme elder would die at his hands, this is truly too unbelievable. Our great Qin clan actually ended up in this situation. Nobody dares to go out and fight just this mere Mingyu alone. No, this is not all Mingyu's credit. Don't you all find it weird that news of Divine Bean Palace was leaked out? Qin clan's Gu immortals discussed, some were sad and dejected, some felt they were helpless to do anything. Cough cough, you are right. Qin clan's first supreme elder woke up from his coma. First elder. Qin clan's Gu immortals were overjoyed, they cheered, you are finally awake. Qin clan's first supreme elder still had a purplish complexion, his aura was extremely weak. He barely sat up on his bed as he said, Mingyu has likely cooperated with the other forces to deal with us. He is an open blade while the other forces are restraining us secretly, they are too vicious. Not long ago, to settle some territorial dispute and get a giant resource point, I was sneak attacked and suffered heavy injuries. I have no battle strength now. Recently, our clan's giant resource points have all been attacked by demonic path Gu immortals. After sending our immortal Gu houses to deal with them, our headquarters have fallen into a state of absolute weakness. Cough, cough. First Supreme Elder, you need to rest, don't exert yourself. Yes, we will handle this. As long as Qin clan survives this crisis, we will definitely take revenge on those vicious scoundrels. Qin clan's Gu immortals quickly assured. But Qin clan's first supreme elder shook his head, don't go and waste your lives. Mingyu has incredible battle strength, he possesses an immense innate luck, he is not a simple character. We were too careless earlier. By the time we realize this and want to deal with him seriously, the other forces already started to restrain us. We need to be very vigilant in dealing with him now. Qin clan's Gu immortals were discussing earlier, but hearing the first supreme elder's words, it seemed like he had other plans. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2056, Qing Chou. 2056 Qing Chou. First Supreme Elder, what idea do you have? Qin clan's first Supreme Elder forced a smile. The cause of everything, the origin of Qin clan's predicament, is just one thing, Divine Bean Palace. Other than us, nobody wants to see Qin clan refine Divine Bean Palace successfully. Even if we exert all our strength and give up our territories, even if we defeat Mingyu, how can we deal with all the super forces? Cough, cough. Qin clan's first supreme elder paused before continuing, so our best counterattack is to refine Divine Bean Palace. An anxious Gu immortal immediately asked, how can we refine Divine Bean Palace rapidly? Qin clan's first supreme elder sighed, there is one method we can try. Qin clan's immortals were very excited, they looked at Qin clan's first supreme elder fixedly. Qin clan's first supreme elder slowly explained, earlier, we used Hatred Gu to get past Divine Bean Palace's defense, we made huge progress, we just need some time to refine it now. However, we lack the time we need, we can only take a risk and use that killer move now. What killer move? Don't tell me. Some Qing Clan Gu immortals had perplexed expressions while some had changing expressions, they recalled some vague rumors they had heard. Qing Clan's first Supreme Elder nodded, excitement showed on his tired face. This killer move was created by Second Supreme Elder and I, he was the main user with my assistance. The killer move has extraordinary might, I will activate it while all of you participate and help. As long as we can unleash it, the current Divine Being Palace cannot block it, any rank 8 Gu immortal will need to avoid it as well. No matter how strong Mingyu is, he is still rank 7. We will do that. First Supreme Elder, what do we name it? First Supreme Elder shook his head as he smiled bitterly, Second Supreme Elder died before we could name it. This old man was silent for a while before replying solemnly, let's call it, Qing Cho, 1, this is the revenge of Qing Clan. Divine Being Palace was the cause of our predicament and suffering, Qing Clan needs to take revenge. We will use Qing Cho to refine Divine Being Palace completely. These super forces with ill intentions will also face the revenge of our Qing Clan one by one. That arrogant and vicious Mingyu who caused us great harm will also face our revenge. Using Qing Cho, we will take revenge. We will repay this debt 1,000-fold to those who hurt us. In this aspect, we will not be stingy, we will repay them fully. These words raised the spirits of the immortals. Qing Cho, truly a good name. First Supreme Elder is right, we must take revenge. Let Qing Cho be the sign of our Qing Clan's rise to greatness. Qing Cho. Qing Cho. Qing Cho. Qing Cho. Qing Chao's vision cleared up at once, it recalled everything, its memories were fully restored. Facing Mingyu's assault, Qing Clan first decided to use the killer move Qing Cho to refine Divine Being Palace. Next, they would go and fight to claim victory. However, the Qing Cho killer move that they entrusted their hopes to did not fully refine Divine Being Palace. Instead, it triggered a mysterious resonance with Divine Being Palace, the entire sky shined with jade green light. The mysterious light devoured Qing Clan's immortals, it digested the entire Qing Clan headquarters, including Qing Oasis, it covered the surrounding 10,000 li. Mingyu was forced to retreat. After the mysterious light faded, the super forces came to check what happened, they saw that the great Qing Clan territory was reduced to a huge and vast ruin. The indignant Western Desert Gu immortals searched the entire place thoroughly but they could not find anything. As time passed, people went from disappointment to despair, they left this lifeless desert eventually. Only in some corner, a rank 8 would path immortal Gu house with a dim hall and hatred Gu as the core within the hall was activating a killer move. This killer move was called Qing Cho. The killer move Qing Cho did not fail, it was only influenced by something and mutated in essence. It turned into a life form. Countless vengeful souls who died terrible deaths fused together, a soul beast with hatred Gu as the core was born. Initially, it was very small like a baby. It opened its eyes, its gaze was crystal clear. Next, it grew up continuously, without any idea of what was happening. Its body started to grow as its physique became clear. It had claws, a tortoise shell, and a head with long hair. Its size was initially the same as a rabbit, next it grew to a wolf's size, before a bull and then an elephant, eventually, it became as large as a mountain. Countless vengeful souls cried out, from the moment it was born, they had been screeching in its ears, reverberating in its heart. Every time it grew, these resounding voices would become louder and more muffled. They were screaming, they were howling. Qing Cho could not hear them clearly, it felt greatly troubled. These voices were too annoying and muffled, they went on without stopping, it became confused, it became frustrated, it became angry. Its thoughts became more chaotic, it became more ruthless and aggressive. It growled, it slashed the ground of the hall with its claws, it crashed into the pillars using its shell, it bled from injuries as its hair covered its face. The hall rapidly repaired itself but the voices still continued, they were getting more muffled and loud. Qing Cho could do nothing. It became dejected eventually. It wanted to give up, it wanted to die. But it did not do so, those vengeful voices were trying to remind it of something. What was it? What were those damned voices trying to say? Tell me, why are you torturing me like this? Why don't you just let me die? Ever since the chaotic battle started, Xianxia sensed spectral soul, its consciousness fell into chaos due to hatred Gu. Even though it was conscious, its mind was not clear. It only knew how to kill, it knew how to charge and advance, it only knew how to fight. It wanted to exert itself, to use every drop of blood in its body to kill spectral soul, to exterminate spectral soul. But now, Xianxia's mind was no longer in chaos, it regained clarity. It was as if the clouds parted in the sky, everything was clear now. Its memories were complete, it understood the whole situation from start to finish. It could finally understand the words of those vengeful souls. These vengeful souls were screaming and crying all the time, they had never stopped or weakened at all. Xianxia heard them clearly now. These vengeful souls were not screaming in pain or bitterness. They were not crying out in grievance, they were not screaming their innocence. They only said one thing, Xianxia. 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 You must remember the purpose of your existence. You must remember the burden that you bear. You must remember all your enemies. Don't forget it for even an instance, don't give up even for an instance. Revenge, revenge, revenge. Those clansmen who died pitiful deaths, those Qin clan members who had yet to fulfill their aspirations, we need to take revenge for the pain and suffering that was inflicted on us. Spectral soul. Xianxia screamed, have a good taste of this. This is the revenge of Qin clan, after 100,000 years, the killer move that has been nurturing for 100,000 years. Xianxia. Oh no. At this moment, giant spectral soul's expression turned cold, his heart sank. A qualitative change occurred in Xianxia's body, rank 8 immortal Gu hatred which had been growing the entire time finally broke through at this moment, it became a genuine rank 9 immortal Gu. Xianxia's mountain-like body shot out a jade green light that was familiar to spectral soul. Within the green light, Xianxia's body transformed like flowing water. It stood straight up, its 4 limbs turned into human hands and legs. The huge pair of wings that it had turned into a full body armor. Its shell turned into a shield, held by its left arm. Its snake neck contracted rapidly, allowing its neck and shoulder to have the perfect proportion. Next, a huge lump of light flowed from its long tail and snake neck, transferring to its right palm as it extended into a terrifying spear. Giant Xianxia charged towards spectral soul, the vast green light condensed and went into the tip of its spear. The long spear stabbed forward with great force. Giant spectral soul changed moves. He had to make a change, if he used his earlier method on Xianxia again, he would be courting death. Spectral soul grunted as he retracted his move, causing him to suffer backlash. But he achieved his goal, he successfully changed killer moves. At the crucial moment, rumbling black smoke gushed towards Xianxia, stopping its attack. Seeing this, Wu Shuai, Qi Si ancestor, and demon immortal Qi Ju stared with wide eyes. This seemed like a long process but in fact, it occurred too quickly and suddenly. Xianxia suddenly became stronger, it turned into a giant with a huge rise in battle strength. Before Wu Shuai, Qi Si or Qi Ju had time to celebrate, giant spectral soul withdrew his killer move and retaliated instantly. Seeing that this fatal killer move was mostly blocked by spectral soul, Wu Shuai, Qi Si, and Qi Ju felt greatly disappointed, they could not help but admire spectral soul's resolve and method. He could actually swap killer moves within such a short time frame. However, Lu Wei-yin smiled. At the next moment, giant Xianxia's messy hair rose up and tangled together like vines, gathering into the appearance of a huge tree. This tree had lush leaves, it was a massive cover over Xianxia's head, it emitted a jade green light again. Spectral soul's rumbling smoke was all blocked by this powerful light. This is a venerable method. Genesis Lotus Immortal Venerable's Karma Divine Tree Killer Move. Qi Si, Qi Ju, and Wu Shuai were shocked. Swish. Giant Qing Chao's attacks were no longer obstructed, the terrifying spear pierced through Giant Spectral Soul from the front to the back. Following that, the green spear turned into jade green light and flowed into Giant Spectral Soul's body like a torrent of water. Giant Spectral Soul took several steps back, his aura weakened to an extremely low level. Spectral Soul was covered in holes as soul chi leaked out along with some jade green light. Hundreds of arms covered these holes but could not stop the overwhelming green light from shining. These mysterious lights were like swords or spears, bursting out of Spectral Soul's body, radiating the entire battlefield. Spectral Soul lost. This was a truly fatal blow. Spectral Soul's expression was cold as he muttered, "Genesis Lotus, Paradise Earth, good, you guys are really impressive." Next, he smiled coldly, his killing intent surged instead, reaching an unprecedented level. Long ago, I swore that I would only make others struggle in the face of death. Are you all prepared for that? Spectral Soul's words made everyone's expressions change. Oh no! Get away from him, quickly. He is going to self-detonate. All of you, die with me. Spectral Soul roared. Boom. 1. Cho means revenge. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2057, Spectral Soul S Death. 2057 Spectral Soul S Death. Quickly, we need to be faster. Fairy Ziwei continued to urge herself internally. She was the only wisdom path great expert here, the duty of unraveling this battlefield killer move ended up on her shoulders. Fairy Ziwei's soul was modified by Spectral Soul, she was loyal to him, she exerted herself in trying to unravel this battlefield killer move. However, Lu Weiyin's illusory sand-shifting shadow battlefield was not a simple battlefield. This Earth Path battlefield is extremely sturdy, it also has a layer of vagueness. I'm afraid it uses Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's battlefield as the foundation and was modified from that. Fairy Ziwei was frowning deeply, her mind was heating up, with her full effort, she managed to deduce some useful information. But there was little progress overall. Firstly, the battlefield killer move would shrink into a tiny spot once they were activated, isolating the inside and outside. Be it from within or externally, it was hard to unravel. Initially, Fairy Ziwei was able to break Feng Yuan's Yama battlefield in Langya Blessed Land because she had Feng Jiuji's Fate Armor Immortal Gu to locate Yama battlefield. By combining both internal and external influences, she had a breakthrough in unraveling that battlefield. Secondly, illusory sand-shifting shadow battlefield was not ordinary, it was the work of a venerable, improved upon by future generations. It was already amazing that Fairy Ziwei could find the exact location of the battlefield so quickly, it showed her incredible wisdom path attainment. Fairy Ziwei continued to use various methods, sometimes, she activated individual Immortal Gu, sometimes, she used Wisdom Path killer moves, sometimes, she even asked the Longevity Heaven or Heavenly Court Gu Immortals to probe the illusory sand-shifting shadow battlefield continuously. This was truly an unthinkable sight. Shadow Sect, Longevity Heaven, and Heavenly Court were actually working together closely. At the outer periphery, the Black Bat group was like a raging black tide that attacked constantly. Heavenly Court's Immortal Gu houses were guarding against them, forming a tight defense that killed all the black bats that were daring enough to approach them. In the inner area, Fairy Ziwei was high in the sky with Old Man Jing Yuan, Bai Ning Bing, and Fairy Miao Yin protecting her. At the center, two Immortal Gu houses were situated beside each other. They were Longevity Heaven's Calamity Luck Altar and Heavenly Court's Demon Judgment Board. Each time Fairy Ziwei gave instructions, these two Immortal Gu houses would cooperate and use their methods to attack a corner of the battlefield. Qin Dingling and Bing Sai Chuan did not doubt Fairy Ziwei's anxiety, they also lacked a Wisdom Path great expert, they were willing to put in effort for this. Everything they did was for the eventual goal, Feng Yuan. Originally, these three forces restrained each other while chasing Feng Yuan, they had their own vigilance. But now that the battlefield killer move enveloped Fang Yuan and Spectral Soul, these three forces started to work together, exerting their effort and energy into unraveling this battlefield killer move. Fang Yuan's craftiness and viciousness was deeply etched in everyone's minds. Since he put up an ambush here, he definitely had ill intentions. The three factions' Gu immortals felt something amiss. They quickly worked together, attempting to thwart Fang Yuan's plans with all their effort. It was truly a wise decision. But Guh. Fairy Ziwei suddenly shook as she spat out a mouthful of blood. Oh. Seeing this change, all of the Gu immortals' attention was drawn. Fairy Ziwei wiped the blood off the corner of her lips. Her expression was pale, but she gritted her teeth, continuing her deduction. Heavenly Court nurtured a great immortal. For her master, she is really giving it her all. Within Calamity Luck Altar, Bing Sai Chuan sneered as he tried to attack the two forces with words. Within the immortal Gu house, Qin Ding Ling snorted coldly, frowning. Why is my luck wavering so much? At the next moment, Fairy Ziwei and Old Man Jing Yuan suddenly took action. Profound light flickered. The Shadow Sect immortals were all enveloped, before they shot outside like a meteor. Bing Sai Chuan and Qin Ding Ling's hearts jumped. They did not think anymore, quickly controlling the immortal Gu houses to follow after Fairy Ziwei. Boom! A terrifying explosion occurred at this moment. Calamity Luck Altar had just started to move when an immense force assaulted it from the back. Bing Sai Chuan growled, Ziwei harmed us. Calamity Luck Altar suffered a huge blow, but its momentum rose as it charged towards Fairy Ziwei with killing intent. Within Demon Judgment Board, Fang Zheng lacked experience compared to Bing Sai Chuan and Qin Ding Ling. When the explosion occurred, Demon Judgment Board was still staying motionless on the spot. Thus, Demon Judgment Board suffered much greater damage than Calamity Luck Altar. At once, Fang Zheng felt like he had fallen into a tsunami. He was caught unguarded. The entire Demon Judgment Board was swept away by the explosion. Rumble. This explosion was created by Spectral Soul's self-detonation. After the explosion destroyed the illusory sand-shifting shadow battlefield, the three forces Gu immortals who did not know what happened were greatly affected. Both immortal Gu houses, Calamity Luck Altar and Demon Judgment Board, were heavily damaged. Even though Fairy Ziwei deduced the explosion slightly earlier, there was too little time. The explosion quickly implicated them. They were sent flying everywhere. The numerous Heavenly Court immortal Gu houses were also sent flying like kites, blown away by the intense force. The Black Bat group was even worse. Hundreds of thousands of bats, be they desolate beasts or immemorial desolate beasts, were instantly blown to pieces. The ground shook as the world seemingly collapsed. The entire scene was very chaotic now. An extremely damaged fortress appeared in the air. Qing Chou, which had turned into a giant, was blown into 3 pieces. It landed on the ground. Xiland was greatly damaged. It was originally complete and intact, now only less than 30% was left. Demon Immortal Qi Ju was covered in blood as he flew out of this secluded domain of heaven and earth. He had a sharp gaze as he fixed his eyes on the fortress. It was Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress. This rank 8 Immortal Gu house truly had top-notch defense. Even though it was heavily damaged, it still managed to block the force of Spectral Soul's self-detonation. At the next moment, Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress was stored into Fang Yuan's immortal aperture. This immortal Gu house was too slow. It could not be relied on all the time. Fang Yuan appeared. Instantly, he attracted the attention of all the Gu immortals. But Fang Yuan was not alone. Lu Wei-yin and Wu Shuai were also around him. Let's kill Fang Yuan. Calamity Luck Altar was not in good shape. Bing Sai Chuan gave up on it and let the rest repair, while he went to kill Fang Yuan himself. This rank 8 great expert who had once fought alongside Fang Yuan did not conceal his deep killing intent towards the latter. Fang Yuan, what did you do to Master? Fairy Ziwei stopped escaping. She screamed out as blood oozed out of her nose and mouth. Demon Immortal Qi Ju had a childlike appearance but an elderly voice. He smiled coldly. Didn't you all feel the severity of the explosion earlier? Spectral Soul has already self-detonated and died. What? The immortals heard this and were intensely shocked. The great spectral soul actually died. The explosion earlier was too terrifying. It was clearly a soul path killer move. Was it spectral soul's final attack before dying? But how can this be? A great demon venerable. No, spectral soul is no longer a demon venerable. Even so, he still has the #1 battle strength in the world. To think that he actually died at the hands of Feng Yuan and the rest. Feng Yuan actually killed spectral soul. The immortals' expressions changed, their pupils contracted as all of their gazes focused on Feng Yuan. Even though spectral soul's death was caused by everyone's effort, Feng Yuan was undeniably the main perpetrator. Feng Yuan cannot be underestimated. He is too scheming. He actually managed to kill spectral soul, that is a former demon venerable. He even destroyed Fate Gu. It is not strange that he managed to achieve this. Kill him, we cannot let him escape. This demon being alive is truly the greatest misfortune of all lives in this world. Yes, even if he was acting earlier, after killing spectral soul, he must definitely be in bad shape. If we don't kill him now, when will we? The immortals shouted in unison. Feng Yuan, even if I have to die here, I want you dead. Fairy Ziwei's expression was distorted. She gritted her teeth as she attacked. On one hand, Fairy Ziwei was modified by spectral soul and became extremely loyal to him. His death angered her deeply. On the other hand, she had constantly experienced failure as a result of Feng Yuan. In Heavenly Court, she failed. In Shadow Sect, she still failed. She kept losing to this Feng Yuan. Kill him. If Feng Yuan is not dead, the ones to suffer will be everyone present here. Demon Immortal Qi Ju called out as he attacked Feng Yuan as well. At the same time, he secretly transmitted to Feng Yuan while chuckling, Feng Yuan, when spectral soul self-detonated earlier, you did not let me into your peaceful soil heavy mountain fortress. I'll forget that. If you want to escape now, you will need my help. Take out some venerable true inheritances, show me your sincerity. Demon Immortal Qi Ju's Shiland was greatly damaged, but he retained most of his own battle strength. This old demon was still working with Feng Yuan to fight spectral soul 1 moment ago. Immediately after, he flipped and changed sides, using the 3 forces to threaten and extort Feng Yuan again. Feng Yuan was really not in good shape. The Sovereign Immortal Aperture's myriad tribulation was still ongoing. Beside him, Lu Weiyin had a pale expression. His body was wobbling around. It would not be surprising if he fainted at the next moment. Wu Shuai was looking terrible. Even though his rank 8 aura was not stable, he still retained some battle strength. Right now, he could only be sacrificed to try to stall for time. Even so, there was no guarantee regarding how much time he could fight for. As for Qi Si Ancestor, he was already put into Feng Yuan's Sovereign Immortal Aperture. Within it, Combat Beast King was still unconscious. Feng Yuan needed a Gu Immortal expert to manage the situation. If not, Qi Si Ancestor would be forced by the situation. To protect his main body, he would need to expose his identity. At the crucial moment, without any better options, I will need to sacrifice the Qi Si clone and Wu Shuai clone to stall for time. Feng Yuan thought. He transmitted to Lu Weiyin, what is the escape method that you mentioned earlier? When Giant Spectral Soul self-detonated, Lu Weiyin made his move, forcefully activating the illusory sand-shifting shadow battlefield and suppressing the soul explosion miraculously. Even though it only lasted a few breaths of time, it managed to successfully gain them some time. Using this time, Feng Yuan's Qi Si and Wu Shuai clone managed to hide inside Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress. During which, Lu Weiyin transmitted to Feng Yuan that he had a way to escape and leave Central Continent safely. Precisely so, Feng Yuan let Lu Weiyin into his Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress. Firstly, Lu Weiyin saved both of Feng Yuan's clones. That was a move demonstrating great sincerity. Secondly, because Lu Weiyin's battlefield killer move was broken, he suffered an immense backlash, his battle strength plunged and his threat level also diminished. Feng Yuan did not fear him now. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2058, helping Fang Yuan become venerable. 2058 Helping Fang Yuan become venerable. Lu Wei Yin replied Fang Yuan immediately, Fang Yuan, follow me. However, Fang Yuan replied, no rush. At the next moment, he smiled coldly, his arms were folded behind him, looking at the three groups of Gu immortals and their immortal Gu houses, he spoke calmly and casually, very good, which of you want to die first? Saying this, intense aura burst out of his body, his rank 8 aura was fully intact and not weak at all. All of the immortals stared with wide eyes. Wasn't he at his limit already? All of the excitement to attack was doused. The immortals became hesitant. Using this timing, Fang Yuan laughed loudly as he activated an immortal killer move, bringing Lu Wei Yin and the rest away. They turned into a sword rainbow, flying far away. Different from earlier, Fang Yuan had already refined many Heaven Path Dao marks, he had already gotten some freedom from the restrictions of the Heaven Path Dao marks. It was many times easier for him to use immortal killer moves now. Although he still needed to use the Human Path formation to attack the Heaven Path Dao marks, he could already use other methods now. Fang Yuan escaped, chase him. He was toying with us. The immortals realized at once, they started to pursue him relentlessly. All sorts of killer moves were unleashed, bombarding Fang Yuan and the rest. It was as if the situation had returned to before, except Spectral Soul, Qi Si Ancestor, and Qin Chou were gone, in exchange there was Lu Wei Yin instead. But everyone, be very careful. The final struggle of this demon Fang Yuan cannot be underestimated. Let the other two forces fight, let's save our energy. Fang Yuan is too scheming, in my opinion, he might still have a second battlefield killer move or an immortal formation. That's right, in the southern border battle, Fang Yuan used a time path formation to trap the allied forces of southern border's righteous path. Lu Wei Yin is also a devious person, he set up the earth path formation to trap Spectral Soul, he did the same thing as Fang Yuan. I was wrong about him. The Great Paradise Earth's southern border inheritor actually collaborated with Fang Yuan so shamelessly. The immortals' words were filled with righteousness and heroism against the evil enemies, they transmitted thoughts and exchanged conversations, trying to come up with a plan. They chased with a huge commotion, but they were all feeling internally fearful. The current situation was already very different from earlier, it had changed almost completely. Fang Yuan managed to kill Spectral Soul, this incredible feat made all three forces very wary and fearful. Furthermore, Fang Yuan was devious and crafty, he was ruthless and vicious, his battle achievements were deeply etched into everyone's hearts, the three forces Gu immortals were filled with trepidation. On one hand, even if Fang Yuan was near his limit, his final struggle would cause any of them to suffer huge losses, their plans would fail completely. On the other hand, the three forces were not just fighting Fang Yuan, they were also mutual enemies. Earlier, Spectral Soul and Qi Ju took on the role as the vanguard, the three forces were happy to follow behind them and try to reap some benefits. But now, Spectral Soul was dead, even though demon immortal Qi Ju appeared imposing, he was secretly extorting Fang Yuan for his personal gains, why would he really fight with his true strength? Speaking of which, the three forces Gu immortals were wary of Fang Yuan, but was demon immortal Qi Ju not wary of him? Fang Yuan did not fight much in the few battles earlier. How much did he actually recover? Looking at his killer moves, they are clearly more complex and numerous, how much strength is he concealing? Does he have a fourth immortal Gu house? Demon immortal Qi Ju thought to himself. Earlier, Fang Yuan lost Dragon Palace and Myriad Year Flying Warship, he immediately took out Peaceful Soil Heavy Mountain Fortress. These three immortal Gu houses were all rank 8, they were peak creations of Enslavement Path, Time Path, and Earth Path. Fang Yuan's abundant wealth truly shocked demon immortal Qi Ju. He would not be surprised even if Fang Yuan took out a fifth immortal Gu house at this point. Just how deep is Fang Yuan's foundation? Aren't the past venerables investing too much in him? Demon immortal Qi Ju gritted his teeth. As Fang Yuan retreated, He suggested transacting using true inheritances. His attitude was tough at times. Demon Immortal Qi Ju could not make up his mind. Should I attack at this time? How much strength does Fang Yuan have left? Would my gains be higher if I kill him? But now, chasing and collecting true inheritances seems pretty good too. Among the people, Demon Immortal Qi Ju had the best time during this chasing period. We arrived. It is below this place. Lu Wei-yin suddenly transmitted. Fang Yuan controlled the rainbow. He suddenly changed directions. He instantly broke through the rock layer, entering the next layer. Rumble. Fang Yuan and the rest heard loud rumbling noises around them. A boundless earth Qi river surged intensely as tides raged. Fang Yuan and the other two were surrounded by it. They felt like ants in the river, being extremely insignificant. This is the manifestation of an earth vein. Fang Yuan was stunned before he soon realized it. Lu Wei-yin nodded as he smiled. Indeed, with the 5 regions becoming one, the earth veins have merged as well. With the movement of the earth veins, they will manifest themselves. It is about to reach that island. Fang Yuan activated his killer move with difficulty as the sword rainbow shot down. The sword rainbow was hard to maintain. It finally dissipated in the air after some time. The 3 immortals fell onto a brown island. They were in sorry states. This island was very small. It was only a few square kilometers in size. The island was deserted without any living beings. It had a plain terrain. There were 3 huge rocks at the periphery that resembled pillars, embedded into the grand earth vein. Precisely because of these 3 rock pillars, the island remained unmoving despite the earth vein's movement. Fang Yuan, where are you running? Chase. What is this place? At this time, the 3 groups of pursuers also arrived at this layer. Someone activated a killer move but found that the earth path Dao marks here were too dense. They suppressed almost all other paths. Gu immortals had to spend a lot of effort activating killer moves unless it was earth path, otherwise, only immortal Gu houses could still move around freely. Oh no, Fang Yuan came here with a plan in mind. No matter what he is trying to do, we must stop him. Quickly destroy that island. The 3 forces Gu immortals had imposing aura. They quickly got close. However, Fang Yuan, Wu Shuai, and Lu Wei-yin attacked suddenly, destroying the 3 huge rock pillars on the island. Without the support of the rock pillars, the island started to float away along the earth vein. The 3 forces Gu immortals chased but the island moved rapidly. The difference between the 2 was just too big. The island quickly pulled apart some distance and in a few breaths of time, shook off the 3 forces Gu immortals. The 3 forces Gu immortals were dumbfounded. What the heck was happening? It was just an island but it actually moved so quickly. We really escaped from them. What is this island? Where will it bring us to? Wu Shuai touched the hard ground of this island with his hands as he asked in amazement. Lu Wei-yin continued to cough blood. Destroying the rock pillars earlier caused his injuries to be aggravated. He did not answer Wu Shuai. He looked at Fang Yuan instead. Fang Yuan, you must have recalled it already. Fang Yuan nodded. The moment he saw this island, a flash of inspiration struck in his mind. By the time he landed, he had already recalled it. This is Flying Earth. Fang Yuan told Wu Shuai. Even though Wu Shuai was his clone, Fang Yuan did not give him a copy of all his memories. This was a precaution. If Wu Shuai got captured in the future and got his soul searched, these memories would end up helping his enemies after all. In the previous life's 500 years, the 5 regions became one. The 2 heavens combined. The earth veins of the 5 regions also merged and created many unique terrains. The people in the world called them the 10 Earths. They are Earth Abyss, Earth Trench, Earth Tunnel, Earth Cave, Earth Prison, Production Earth, Flying Earth, Formation Earth, Treasure Earth, and Tomb Earth. This island is one of the 10 Earths, Flying Earth. It is formed from the earth vein. It can move around in the earth vein as quickly as flying. Its speed cannot be matched normally. Wu Shuai finally understood, so that's it. He continued to sigh. With the changes in the world, the underground has also become much more interesting. He knew the essence of this island. He asked, "Then where can we go?" Fang Yuan shook his head. "I have only heard of flying earth, I have never interacted with it. We can only follow along its trail now, we cannot control the direction. Lu Weiyin, I wonder if you have any method?" In this ambush battle, Lu Weiyin's performance was very outstanding. Fang Yuan saw much value in him now. This current generation inheritor of Paradise Earth had incredible power. He first set up illusory sand-shifting shadow battlefield, which was powerful enough to trap spectral soul and Qi Ju. It perfectly displayed the might of a proper battlefield. Next, Lu Weiyin controlled the battlefield and allowed the immortals to cooperate tightly while dealing with spectral soul. During the intense fight, spectral soul wanted to target Qin Chou but was obstructed by Lu Weiyin multiple times. After that, at the crucial moment, Lu Weiyin displayed a powerful defensive killer move that blocked spectral soul's rampaging attack, allowing Qi Ju to have enough time to use his 11-11 killer move. This was the turning point of that battle. In addition, Lu Weiyin used all life is bitter and suffering loss is a blessing to counter spectral soul, causing him to suffer an intense backlash. Finally, he forcefully maintained the battlefield and suppressed spectral soul's self-detonation, allowing Fang Yuan's clones to escape the crisis. After the battlefield was destroyed, he was the one who guided Fang Yuan to this flying earth and escaped successfully. Lu Weiyin's battle strength was definitely top tier in the current world, but Fang Yuan admired his nature even more. He was adept at enduring and persevering. He used the two killer moves, all life is bitter and suffering loss is a blessing, at the crucial moment to cause spectral soul to suffer a huge setback. With his deep shrewdness and wisdom, Fang Yuan believed that Lu Weiyin definitely had a method to control flying earth. After all, this involved Earth Path, it was Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's greatest expertise. And as expected, Lu Weiyin did not disappoint Fang Yuan. He smiled and nodded, "I am not so skilled, but Paradise Earth's inheritance has a relevant method to control flying Earth's direction and decide the place to stop at." Wu Shuai heard this, his pupils shrank, he became quite cautious. Lu Weiyin seemed to have not noticed as he kept up his smile. "This earth vein travels along western desert, towards eastern sea, before reaching southern border and northern plains after that. I wonder where you want to stop at, Fang Yuan." Fang Yuan smiled too. "Didn't you invite me to be a guest of your Mushroom Man paradise earlier?" Lu Weiyin nodded. "Fang Yuan, now that spectral soul has been killed by us, I am sure you know of my sincerity already. This is not just my sincerity, this is also the sincerity of Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable. Even though I am not sure of the details, there is something written down in the inheritance that Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable left behind. Gu Fang Yuan is the Paradise Earth inheritor of the 5 regions. All of Paradise Earth's forces will help him, they will assist him to become a Gu Venerable with their full strength. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2059, Paradise Earth S Deeper Intentions. 2059 Paradise Earth S Deeper Intentions. What? When Wu Shuai heard this news for the first time, he was stupefied. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable was well reputed to be benevolent and kind, who did not know of his nature. He spent his entire life cleaning up the mess that spectral soul created, he did not have a single offensive method. All of his actions and words were meant to lead people to the path of kindness, he took joy in helping people. Among the people he helped, were the numbers merely millions or tens of millions. In fact, not only humans, even variant humans and legendary immemorial beasts received his help. He even took action many times to repair mountains and rivers, he managed the natural resource points of heaven and earth. Southern borders Mushroom Man Paradise, Eastern Seas Merman Imperial Court, as well as the Blue Dragon Whale, had all received Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's help. Even Central Continent's reincarnation battlefield was created by Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable because he did not want to see bloodshed between Central Continent Gu immortals, he used it to resolve their conflicts. And Fang Yuan? He killed people like cutting grass, he was cold and callous. For his personal benefit, he destroyed Fate Gu and disregarded the prosperity of humanity. In order to cultivate, he plundered resources everywhere. He extorted, he stole, he snatched, he used all methods possible. Everywhere he went, there was blood, there was disaster. And now that spectral soul was dead, Fang Yuan became the genuine #1 demon in the world. It was not strange that Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable managed to deduce the existence of Fang Yuan. All the other 9 venerables had done the same. But Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable actually wanted Fang Yuan to become his inheritor. He wanted all of the forces of Paradise Earth to help Fang Yuan ascend to the position of a venerable. This was simply bizarre beyond belief. Has Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable gone mad? Wu Shuai's first thoughts after reacting were as such. Immediately after, Wu Shuai thought, don't tell me Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable wants my main body to become a kind person. This does suit his style of action. Indeed. Fang Yuan was a demon. After news of the earlier battle spread out, it would shock the world. Fang Yuan's title as the #1 demon in the world would gain everyone's agreement. If such a demon could turn over a new leaf and become righteous, it was definitely good news for the world and the people living in it. Wu Shuai was shocked, but Fang Yuan was expressionless. He did not show any external emotions. Because he had already heard such words before he communicated with Lu Wei-yin. Fang Yuan recalled the scene back then on the Red Lotus Stone Island. Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable arrived at the Stone Lotus Island. When he spoke with Red Lotus Will, he did mention that he wanted to snatch Fang Yuan as his inheritor. For this purpose, Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable took away Regret Gu and placed it inside the Blue Dragon Whale. Because of this, future events happened. Fang Yuan entered the Blue Dragon Whale's Grotto Heaven Paradise, taking Regret Gu and releasing Xianxia. Back then, the ultimate mission of the Merit Board seemed to have intentions of inviting Fang Yuan to stay in the Grotto Heaven, to accept the mission and become the new owner of the Blue Dragon Whale. But Fang Yuan did not give in to temptation. He chose to leave and participate in the Fate War, to destroy Fate Gu. After the Fate War, Lu Wei-yin contacted Fang Yuan, stating that he wanted to help the latter. These two matters were related in essence. Thus, it was not so hard for Fang Yuan to accept this. Ever since I was reborn, I obtained many venerable true inheritances. These are the investments of the past venerables. They used me as a tool to destroy Fate Gu. I originally thought that Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable had the same idea, but to think that he had deeper intentions. Thoughts continued to flicker and collide in Fang Yuan's mind. This was the greatest predicament of his life. It was truly a near-death experience. The most dangerous moment was when Giant Spectral Soul used the killer move Eat Heart on him. Fang Yuan was truly defenseless at that moment. He had to gamble. Thus, he forced himself to laugh and put up a perfect disguise, successfully hoaxing Demon Immortal Qi Ju to attack and betray Spectral Soul. That interrupted Eat Heart and allowed him to survive. At that time, Fang Yuan was half a step from entering his grave. What was the cause of this precarious situation? Externally, Spectral Soul was chasing after him, trying to regain Sovereign Immortal Fetus Gu and the Dream Realms. Internally, there was Red Lotus Demon Venerable's scheme. He used the 3000 Heaven Path Dao marks to restrain Fang Yuan and forced him to be unable to fight. Fate Gu was destroyed. Fang Yuan had no value remaining. However much help he had received in the past, he would suffer a proportionate backlash at this moment. All of the venerables who invested in Fang Yuan also abandoned him. They had resolute killing intent. In such a situation, one venerable stood out from the rest. He lent a helping hand at the crucial moment, pulling Fang Yuan up from the abyss. What was Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's intention? What did he want from Fang Yuan? Why did he think that Fang Yuan would become a venerable? Why did he want to help Fang Yuan become a venerable despite the huge cost? Surrounded by brown soil, Earth Qi rumbled. Flying Earth continued to move within the Grand Earth vein. According to my understanding, in the prophecy of 3 venerables, the next venerable is Great Dream Immortal Venerable. Does Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable think I have the capability to become Great Dream Immortal Venerable? Fang Yuan's gaze flickered as he broke the silence, probing as he asked. Lu Wei-yin replied, the prophecy of 3 venerables is well known to everyone, but now that Fate Gu has been destroyed, the future is no longer certain. It is possible that Great Dream Immortal Venerable will emerge. It is also possible that this will not happen, right? Fong Yuan, no need to say anymore. Once you visit Mushroom Man Paradise and receive Paradise Earth's true meaning, you will understand everything. At that time, I will definitely welcome you enthusiastically. Lu Wei-yin smiled but was not willing to speak anymore. After this battle, he was certain that Fong Yuan would go to Mushroom Man Paradise, but he would not go now. Lu Wei-yin knew of Fong Yuan's vigilance. He was a ruthless person, but he was incomparably careful. Even though Lu Wei-yin made such a huge contribution in this battle, if there was a chance, Fong Yuan would definitely kill him. But Lu Wei-yin had been cautious. Fong Yuan had no such opportunities. When Spectral Soul self-detonated, he saved Wu Shuai and Qi Si ancestor, expressing his goodwill while also telling Fong Yuan he had a way to escape. That was the reason Fong Yuan led him into peaceful soil Heavy Mountain Fortress. When they got to Flying Earth, because he had a method to control it, he retained his value. Fong Yuan was unwilling to kill him. But if he fainted, Fong Yuan would definitely deal the fatal blow, before soul-searching Lu Wei-yin and learning of all the details. Eventually, Fong Yuan chose to leave mid-journey. He was pestered by the myriad tribulation. The most important thing now was to resolve it. His battle strength was low now, otherwise, he would have attacked the weakened Lu Wei-yin. Before departing, Lu Wei-yin spoke to Fong Yuan, expressing great sincerity. Fong Yuan, I am sure you are deeply aware of the situation now. All the venerables want to kill you. This will not be your only predicament. We have very little time now. The actual circumstances are even more dangerous than during the Fate War. If we act slowly, we will end up with terrible deaths. Thus, I hope you will come visit the Mushroom Man Paradise as soon as possible. Fong Yuan nodded, bringing Wu Shuai and leaving. The two immortals left the earth vein, moving upwards. An hour later, they arrived at the surface, appearing in a desert. There was nothing in the surrounding 1,000 li. Wu Shuai suddenly smiled. Lu Wei-yin seems to be in trouble. By helping us this time, and also being the leader of a variant human force, he is going to face the pressure of Southern Border's righteous path. Fong Yuan nodded. This is indeed problematic for him. Southern Border's righteous path is led by Wu Clan, while Wu Clan's leader, Wu Yong, is an ambitious and formidable person. He will not let go of this chance. But with Lu Wei-yin's political skills, I am sure he already has a way to resolve it. Wu Shuai asked again, before parting, was Lu Wei-yin simply trying to scare us? Fong Yuan had a solemn expression. He shook his head slightly. Wu Shuai's mood became heavy. Let's go, we will recuperate now, we really have no time left. Fong Yuan said. Earth vein. That demon Fong Yuan really escaped. Inside Heavenly Court's Immortal Gu house, Qin Dingling stared with wide and furious eyes as she gritted her teeth, clenching her fists tightly. This was the situation that she had not wanted to see, but it happened anyway. Within Calamity Luck Altar, Bing Sichuan also let out a sigh. He did not think that this would happen. The powerful and imposing spectral soul died while Fong Yuan, who was escaping from them, managed to flee. The biggest surprise was Lu Wei-yin. This inheritor of Paradise Earth was simply not worthy of being in the righteous path. He was Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable's disgrace. Of course, there was also the Earth Vein and Flying Earth. The 5 regions were unified, the regional walls vanished. Gu immortals of the 5 regions focused their attention on the Fate War. The aftermath of the war had not settled, but chi tides already started to emerge. All Gu immortals were busy dealing with them. Almost nobody had the time or energy at this time to explore the changes underground. The Earth Vein was grand and vast. It was like a rumbling yellow river, creating huge commotions and sounds. Traveling around this turbulent Earth Vein was simply not easy. The flying Earth that Fong Yuan was on had already gone missing. The immortals traveled with great difficulty underground. Their expectations regarding catching Fong Yuan became increasingly lower. Wherever the immortals' gazes landed, they would see an abundance of Earth Path resources around the Earth Vein. And within the Earth Vein, there were even higher quality immortal materials. With the changes in heaven and earth, even the earth has become so foreign and unfamiliar. These earth path resources are very heavy, it is too troublesome to take them from the earth vein, that is, unless one has exceptional earth path attainment. Just these earth path resources that we saw along the way, if we can use them well, we can definitely change the situation. Ancient Soul Sect, who owns this earth abyss, is going to benefit. If they can absorb these resources, they will definitely become a much more powerful force. These were elites among the highest tier of Gu immortals, they had excellent knowledge and understanding. The resources underground were too abundant, this would have great implications. The way to extract these resources efficiently and make use of them would affect the entire world situation in the future. Quick, take out some spare Gu worms, another 300 were destroyed. Who can help me to replace the new Gu worms together? When immortal Gu houses moved in this earth vein, they would suffer the invasion of these earth chi, there would be increasingly more earth path Dao marks carved on the immortal Gu houses. That was unless it was an earth path immortal Gu house. Immortal Gu houses of other paths could not stay inside the earth vein for too long. Fang Yuan has disappeared for a long time already. Unless we can find another flying island like what they had, otherwise. That Lu Wei Yin clearly had a method to control the flying island. He is Paradise Earth's inheritor, back then, Paradise Earth immortal venerable cultivated earth path primarily. Heavenly Court's Gu immortals did not say it explicitly, but they had intentions to retreat already. Qin Dingling kept silent, she was unwilling, but Fang Yuan was actually going to successfully escape in front of their very eyes. She knew that Fang Yuan had already escaped for quite some time, there was almost no hope in catching him now. But she still subconsciously kept silent. After this battle, her trepidation towards Fang Yuan rose by several times. Spectral Soul went after him personally but could not kill him, instead, Fang Yuan managed to kill Spectral Soul in reverse. Guyu Fang Yuan. I underestimated you after all. No wonder even the wisdom path cultivator Fairy Z Wei faltered in your hands time and time again. Wait, where are the Shadow Sect members? If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 2060, by Ning Bing vs. Fang Zheng. 2060 by Ning Bing vs. Fang Zheng. Countless rock pillars flashed by with speed that resembled illusory figures. These rock pillars were located in Earth Abyss, they naturally could not move. What was moving was Fairy Z Wei's group. Since Fang Yuan can kill Master, he definitely has a method to escape. I have fought against him many times, I understand him too well. Fairy Z Wei said. After Spectral Soul's death, the weakest group became Shadow Sect. Earlier, Fairy Z Wei purposely shouted and drew Longevity Heaven and Heavenly Court's attention to Fang Yuan, she secretly transmitted and directed these Shadow Sect immortals to escape mid-journey. After that, she did not even get to the layer with the Earth Vein, she directly left the battlefield with these Shadow Sect immortals. No. While flying, Fairy Z Wei suddenly stopped, saying, even though I am not sure how long Fang Yuan, Longevity Heaven, and Heavenly Court will fight, we need to make some preparations in advance. Fairy Z Wei cast her gaze towards Bai Ning Bing, Fairy Miao Yin, and Lady White Rabbit. Farewell to the three of you. Fairy Z Wei's tone became extremely cold. Fairy Miao Yin's expression turned ugly, evidently, Fairy Z Wei was going to discard them as used pawns. Lady White Rabbit was feeling uneasy, while Bai Ning Bing smiled as she rubbed her chin, nodding cheerfully, interesting, getting chased like this is common, but I have never experienced such a status myself. Even if they objected, what could they do? Fairy Z Wei was a rank 8 grade expert, she could suppress the three of them. Fairy Z Wei nodded, bringing Old Man Zheng Yuan and Ning Wu Xia Wei, quickly vanishing from the sights of Bai Ning Bing and the rest. What do we do? Lady White Rabbit asked, she was lost and unsure. Bai Ning Bing chuckled, we are in big trouble, I am sure we will be caught very soon. White Rabbit stared with large and clear eyes, she asked, are you sure? Bai Ning Bing nodded but said, we can't be too sure, but Fairy Z Wei is a wisdom path grade expert, seeing her action earlier, doesn't it tell you the truth? Even though we have low cultivation level, we have our value. Didn't they find out Fang Yuan's traces using us as the connection? But now, Fairy Ziwei gave up on us instantly. It meant that she gave up the method to detect Fang Yuan. This shows how much danger we are currently in. What should we do? Let's leave now. Lady White Rabbit said anxiously. Why don't we split up? Fairy Miao Yin asked. Whoever gets caught will be the unlucky one. White Rabbit, go with me. Among Fang Yuan's subordinates, Fairy Miao Yin and Lady White Rabbit had the closest relationship. In this critical moment, she wanted to bring White Rabbit along with her. We can't escape, but I have a good plan. Bai Ningbing said. Bright light flashed in her eyes. What plan? Lady White Rabbit was curious. But after Bai Ningbing told them, the two rejected it instantly. Isn't that too risky? Lady White Rabbit was tongue-tied. You want to return to the Black Bat lair? You lunatic. Fairy Miao Yin rolled her eyes. Bai Ningbing replied, it seems dangerous there, but the truth is different. With a vast number of bats in there, even pursuers will not detect us. They might go to the next layer while passing us by. White Rabbit was dazed. It seemed that Bai Ningbing's words made sense. Do you think Lord Fang Yuan will return to save us? Lady White Rabbit suddenly asked. Fairy Miao Yin's expression sank. Don't forget that we participated in the chase against him earlier. White Rabbit was anxious, but we were forced to. There was no choice. Lord Fang Yuan is so wise, why wouldn't he understand it? Bai Ningbing sneered. You two are still hopeful about him. Not to mention that he is currently busy trying to save his own life. Even if he could, with that cold aloof nature of his, why would he even come to save us? In fact, he would rather we die now. After we are dead, there will not be sufficient clues to deduce his location. Lady White Rabbit was speechless. Fairy Miao Yin gritted her teeth. No need for more talk. White Rabbit, come with me. As for you, Bai Ningbing, farewell. Fairy Miao Yin had no interest in Bai Ningbing's suggestion. After much interaction with her, she knew that this person was a lunatic. Bai Ningbing shrugged her shoulders. Go ahead. As she said that, an intense wind blew. The odor of blood spread throughout the area. Rank 8 Immortal Gu House Demon Judgment Board arrived. Fang Zheng's cold voice could be heard from within. Where are you trying to go? Bai Ningbing and the others were physically and mentally shaken, to think that their pursuers came so quickly. Why was Fang Zheng here? It turned out that after Heavenly Court, Longevity Heaven, and Demon Immortal Qi Ju lost sight of Fang Yuan, they lost hope while moving along the earth vein. They started to have other thoughts. Demon Immortal Qi Ju was the first to strike, attacking Calamity Luck Altar. Within Calamity Luck Altar, Bing Sai Chuan was prepared for this. He blocked Demon Immortal Qi Ju's attack. Seeing that his attack failed, Demon Immortal Qi Ju did not feel dejected. He called out, Heavenly Court. If you do not fight Calamity Luck Altar now, are you going to wait until Longevity Heaven invades Central Continent? Bing Sai Chuan heard this, his heart sank. You are not wrong. Qin Dingling laughed as she gave orders to Heavenly Court's Immortal Gu houses, launching their attack as well. However, Heavenly Court did not just encircle Calamity Luck Altar, they even targeted Demon Immortal Qi Ju. Demon Immortal Qi Ju snorted coldly, Heavenly Court, your appetite is simply too big. Qin Dingling replied arrogantly, Qi Ju, after that intense battle, how much battle strength do you have left? Go ahead and show us. Demon Immortal Qi Ju was silent. There was nothing wrong with Heavenly Court attacking him, it was a wise decision. However, Qin Dingling is acting resolutely. Is she putting up a farce or? Demon Immortal Qi Ju had no time to think. Heavenly Court's attacks already arrived, and he had to defend himself. The three parties fought above the earth vein. Fang Zheng, quickly go to the upper layers and pursue Shadow Sect. Fairy Ziwei is able to use Bai Ningbing and the rest to deduce Fang Zheng's location. We can also do that, go capture these people. As for Fairy Ziwei and Old Man Jing Yuan. Saying this, Qin Dingling hesitated. But soon, she continued with a firm tone, as for the two of them, kill them if you can. Yes. Fang Zheng acknowledged her orders. He controlled Demon Judgment Board and left the battlefield. Calamity Luck Altar and Demon Immortal Chi Ju were trapped. They watched as Demon Judgment Board left. Fang Jing flew rapidly within Demon Judgment Board, using the Immortal Gu House's ability to find the traces of Shadow Sect. Shadow Sect's members were all on the board list. Fang Jing quickly found Bai Ning Bing and the other two immortals. Rank 8 Immortal Gu House, Demon Judgment Board. Lady White Rabbit's and Fairy Miao Yin's hearts sank. They felt a huge pressure. They wanted to tell Fang Jing about the direction that Fairy Ziwei escaped to, but there was an alliance agreement made earlier. If they betrayed Fairy Ziwei, the consequences would be severe. Cold light flashed in Bai Ning Bing's eyes. Even with an enemy in front of them and possibly others behind, she still had an excited expression. It's you, I know that voice, Gu Fang Jing. Gu Fang Jing had a flickering gaze. He looked at Bai Ning Bing through the Immortal Gu House. Bai Ning Bing, to think that we would meet here at this time. Memories from before surged in his mind. It was as if he had just drunk some liquor before the battle. His entire body was filled with heated battle intent. Bai Ning Bing. He shouted loudly, do you still remember Gu Qingshu? In Fang Zheng's heart, Gu Qingshu was more of a brother than Fang Yuan to him. He was caring, he was gentle, he was responsible, he was admirable. When he lived in Guyu village, even though Guyu clan leader took care of Fang Zheng and taught him personally, he was still a senior. The care and concern that Gu Qingshu gave to Fang Zheng had always been kept in Fang Zheng's heart. But such a person was killed by Bai Ning Bing. Fang Zheng witnessed the entire battle that involved Qingshu's death. Gu Qingshu. Bai Ning Bing was slightly dazed. How could she forget? Back in the day, she fought against Gu Qingshu. Even though she killed the latter, she also lost an arm because of him. But at the next moment, Bai Ning Bing turned a deaf ear. She laughed in disdain. I would have forgotten if you did not mention him. That was an insignificant ant after all. Gu Fang Zheng's eyes widened in response. Blood filled his eyes as killing intent surged in his body. Bai Ning Bing, die. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible.